Hi, this is Ned from Pro Tips. This is the first of many DIY videos we're going to make for you here in New York City, and I'm going to show you how to repair drywall today. The goal is to make the patches look invisible. And when I say invisible, that means there are larger circles that you'll create after you sand when you do a patch that reflect more light than the original wall texture. So what we're going to do is use a sponge to help blend that in. I'm going to show you a couple techniques that I use in order to do that. These are some of the tools that you're going to need today. I'm also going to put these into the description box below. So today we're going to be using 20-minute mud. I'm going to explain the difference between 20, 45, and 90 in another video. But basically the difference is there are different levels of calcium sulfate hemihydrate in each of them. And when mixed with water, it creates a chemical reaction which hardens the compound a little bit faster. So we're going to speed up that process. I also have another secret weapon, which is a heat gun that I'm going to use. And basically by using the heat gun, we dry the compound all the way. If the compound's still wet, it'll constrict and it'll crack the paint. So we want to ensure that our compound is completely dry. So I have a small nail here. I'm just going to pull that out. That's something that I'm not going to put mesh tape over. I'm just going to fill in that hole. It's going to be very easy. Tiny nail. These other larger holes, we're going to need the mesh tape for. This is a toggle bolt hole. Pull that out. And these guys. If you have a larger hole like this, you really need to take your utility knife and cut this paper off around the edge so that it doesn't protrude through the mesh tape and give you a bump on your wall. I'm going to use my utility knife and I'm just going to pop the heads off of these anchors and cut a circle around. Doesn't have to be perfect to hold there. Just want to get the plastic head off. Alright, now we're going to put our mesh tape over the hole. And I just cut it on the wall. We're going to be putting joint compound over that, so not a big deal. Okay. So the thing we just want to remember is to cut off any of the excess paper around the hole, and so nothing's coming through to push the mesh tape over and create a bump on your drywall. So we don't need too much of the Quick 20 because we only have a few patches. So mix our water in. So this is the consistency you want. You just don't want it to be falling off of your tape knife. This is about right there, nice and creamy. And you got to get moving because it starts to set in 25 minutes. So I'm starting up pretty high and I'm coming down and I'm feathering, I'm leaning the blade against the wall as I'm coming down on both sides. about any of the lines in the middle. Those will just come straight up. Just cover a good portion of the wall so you can feather out the bump. There's always going to be a little bit of a bump when you're using compound to fill in a hole. So the idea is the larger the area that you're covering, the easier it is to feather out and make it look like it's invisible. For a little hole like this, you don't need to do much. Just gonna fill that in. Something like this. And this, my friends, is a heat gun. That's how we're going to amplify the drying time for this compound. Some of the deeper portions, the heavier coats that we put on, need more time to dry. So by using the heat gun, it's going to speed up that process, and we will be able to sand and paint sooner. Here we go. So we're just doing a really light sand here. Just taking the top off, smoothing out the lines. We don't really need another coat, actually. So if you do it right the first time, you shouldn't need another coat. And then we can go straight to paint from here. I will texture this a little bit, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So what I did was I put a little tiny bit of the Quick 20 in here and a lot of water. We're making it very soupy. And I'm gonna take a sponge, just a regular old sponge, and I'm gonna apply it just right on top. What I wanna do is I'm just texturing this out a little bit. So it's very smooth at the moment, but I wanna blend it in with the wall texture that's already there from the paint. But we'll also be doing that with the nap, but this is gonna help so that the paint catches and it gets a little bit more of a coarse finish. So you can't see that kind of flatness, the perfect flatness that you get when you sand. And after this dries, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so we finished texturing the wall. I'm just using a sponge, by the way. It's just to smooth it out so that it actually blends in with the existing wall. Once we've rolled our paint over with the 3/8 inch nap, we're gonna actually be completely invisible from where we started. And this is something that, is a pet peeve of mine when I see a smooth sanded wall where there's like a patch and then we have the original paint. I can see that patch still, and that really annoys me. So a lot of people don't know this, but using a sponge just to texture it a little bit right before you paint it, that's gonna help blend it in with the existing wall. So I just wanted to show you how I wanted to roll out this patch that I did today by using this 3/8 inch little mini roller nap. And we're just trying to blend in with the existing texture of the wall. So I just wanted to get a little bit of paint on the wall with this roller so that before we roll it out, it already starts to have the same texture as the wall. So as you can see, we blended our patches with the existing coarseness of the wall. Just follow the steps, go over it, get a little nerdy about it, take your time, put your effort in and you're gonna get the same results that I got here. This is Ned from Pro Tips. Please, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. I'm gonna leave the tools and supplies in the description box below. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments. Thanks.